What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome back to the channel. So ETH has pulled out back a little bit more since my previous kind of video. I was talking about a potential jump up, and now we're into the weekend, so it can be a little bit harder to predict, obviously. But the thing here is I still remain kind of optimistic for a couple of reasons that we'll talk about. Number one, the legend himself made a post, Crypto Face. His spiral lines are a little bit different than mine. I probably should adjust mine or whatever, I guess, but right here, you have, that potential jump right there. And so far, we didn't lose that yet. So you're kind of at the spiral line. I wanted to see what the crypto lifer was. Yeah, something like that, too. That's a potential target. Be careful. I mean, it is the weekend. Anything could happen here. But I still remain, kind of optimistic for a jump up to, new all-time highs here in ETH. Funding rates are getting better and better. People are opening shorts. I mean, it's not every time that people open shorts that the market has to pump, but it's a decent sign there. I mean, people are getting a little bit more afraid, which is what you kind of want. And yeah, I mean, if you want to take that potential long setup, not financial advice, but check out the exchanges down below. BloFin, you got until August 28th, up to 100K deposit bonus and 20% of your fees for life. Similar thing on Bitunix with 100K, you got 25% of your fees for life. Only my link on Bitunix, and then BYDFI, 20% of your fees for life plus a 10K Bitcoin trading bonus per how much you trade. So check them out. Links in the description below. Remember, if you deposit at least $100 in any of those exchanges down below, after you sign up with my link, open a support ticket in the Discord with your UID or your email, and we'll give you a free month in Aldo Empire VIP Discord. A lot of good stuff in there, so check it out if you guys are interested. So yeah, ultimately what we're looking at here on the charts for potentially, Ethereum to kind of recover, get the trigger wave here. This area is decent. Again, I mean, the spiral lines there are a little bit, I got to mess with my spiral line. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but that area still is pretty, significant. It's still a pretty significant area. And if we zoom out here just a little bit, I mean, I just want to try to think if we could, let's do a fib. Let's do a fib level, and let's see, it's probably a decent, so it's kind of your first fib level right there, and if you can kind of hold above that, that would be generally, pretty good. And then lower time frames, I like the 15-minute, you got money flow kind of coming back upwards, so it's looking like you might be able to continue forward. I mean, just be careful. I mean, your money flow is kind of curved downward. I mean, like I mentioned, it is the weekend. It can be a little bit harder to, kind of estimate here. I mean, obviously you did reject from a pretty big level, big start of the area, but I would remain, I do think, I don't see anything too bad here. I mean, you're 30 minutes, some of these time frames starting to look better. You want to hold right here and try to recover and, trap all these people that went short too early. And I think that, trigger wave on your 7-hour kind of forming, this could bring you up to like 52, right here into end of this month or something. So I think we still got a lot coming. ETH versus Bitcoin down a tiny bit, but that's not too much of a cause for concern. I think you should continue forward to some of these highs, at least in the few months. 0.055 is what I'm looking at least 0.054 right there. Bitcoin itself, same wave on that 4-hour. I mean, you could even try very similar kind of trade setup here. You can try something along these lines. I would just try to get around a 2 to 1 risk reward ratio, so something like that. Maybe be a little lenient up to this area. And you could even do a 3 to 1, something like that, or be more lean. I mean, there's no exact right or wrong way to do it, but you got a good shot of trying to, get upward. Your swing low is right there. Sometimes they find a way to take out the swing lows, sometimes they don't, but it does look good in the short term right here. I mean, for the bearish case, let's actually talk about the bearish case just a little bit, because I think I've been too kind of too perma-bull a little bit. So one bearish case would be come back down to that area, which would be, up here, and then you kind of form a reverse head and shoulders, and then you eventually jump up to that. That's one of the bearish cases. Like if you really break downward, we're looking at 108 and potentially some of these lows. But I don't think, kind of what I'm looking at is I don't think you're going to get that pullback until you break upward, kind of up to here or something. And then from there, maybe that pullback. And that would give you probably, 20, 15% down. I mean, Bitcoin's not as volatile as it used to be. I mean, you did have, kind of your 20% correction there. I mean, you could maybe compare the next thing to what happened in, what was this, June, 11% down, maybe something like that. I mean, that was 15, right, or 17 right there. I would guess 15 to 20 probably from this area, maybe right there, 110, and then maybe continuing forward to 150 into, October, and then maybe some alt, if that's the peak for Bitcoin. I do think it may be like 2017 into 2018 where some alts could ride for a month or two, after Bitcoin peaks out in potentially October with the 4-year cycle, 18 months after the halving. So that's what I'm kind of guessing here. So yeah, and then bear case for ETH. I mean, if you were to come down to kind of this area, you would form like a kind of head and shoulder there, my least favorite pattern. But then eventually coming back to 38 or something, if you break down from there. I think your 37, 38 is like a hard kind of line in the sand that I don't think you're really going to lose here. So regardless of when we hit it, 38 I think will hold in all likelihood, unless we get some major curveball. A couple more things, Chainlink versus ETH for all your altcoin fans out there. I mean, this looks like it should continue forward. You got a bull div in your 5-day. I think even some of your higher time frames starting to get trigger waves and such. Chainlink looks good against ETH. Polygon I was looking at a little bit. I mean, you're trying with your money flow. I think this eventually will jump up higher. The other one that was looking pretty good that I think, against its ETH valuation somewhat, but also I think it was on the monthly here, AVAX trigger wave in the monthly. I mean, that usually doesn't mess around, signs like that. I mean, that should at least bring you up to, $50 again, hopefully at least a double into next couple months. AVAX versus ETH hitting this point. I'm just curious if we're trying, you got a little green Heiken Ashy on the daily. You're trying to kind of come back and hold these areas right here, which I think you might. Ethereum versus others right now still is coming up, but getting a little, we're finally getting a little pullback. So this could be, this could be the start of where alts start to outperform Ethereum, the end of your Ethereum season, and alts start to outperform it. But I would really want to wait until ETH jumps up to a new all-time high to be a little bit more confident in alts. But I think more your like legacy alts or safer alts with pretty good fundamentals like your Chainlinks, your AVAXs, things like that should start to outperform ETH relatively soon, based on previous cycles. You do have the Fed very likely going to cut in September. I would hope you dump into that cut. So when you do cut, that cut will help and bring things upward, hopefully into October, into those areas for potential peak for Bitcoin right there. So ultimately, that's what I'm looking at right now. I think that the biggest thing to try to do would be to try to, take one of these longs right now or wait, kind of till Monday, those areas, because it can be, a little bit riskier on the weekends. But based on what I'm seeing, most likely, I think you got a good shot of trying to recover here. People are getting scared, and that's what we need. That's kind of what we need. The last thing I'll show you really quickly is fear and greed on your coin market cap here. And it's still like in the neutral zone. You're almost into, you're in the neutral zone right here. So it's not like, I thought you'd be closer to extreme greed, or at least in greed with ETH almost hitting a new all-time high, but people are afraid. They think it's going to reject from that. So that's still pretty good. That kind of helps us out right now. Just one of the many things you can look at. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. If you're interested in trading, check out the links down below. A lot of good opportunities for the bonuses for the exchanges right now. If you know what you're doing, I think there's money to be made, not financial advice. I can't promise you're going to do well, but hopefully, in the Discord, we got a lot of good resources, a lot of good stuff out there if you guys want to learn and do all that type of good stuff. So check it out if you guys are interested. We'll do a live chat in the Discord pretty soon. So yeah, I'll see you guys really soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.